Hello everybody, this is Starman and welcome back to Let's Play Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis. We are still on the Wits path through the game, which you'll recall we started last time. And we made a fair bit of progress, having already completed the Monte Carlo and Algiers sections of the game, including the second trip back to Monte Carlo to save Monsieur Trottier from a Nazi trap, which has earned us the Sunstone and a lead in Thera. But we do still have to walk back to the hotel to get a cab to the airport.
Driver, to the airport.
Fairly straightforward flight this time.
Well, here I am on Thera.
And we don't have the ship captain this time, like in the Fist Path, but we do have a port authority.
Hello there.
What do you want?
My name is Indiana Jones.
You don't say. Make this quick. I'm a busy man.
Are you in charge around here? Do you have any charter planes?
Not the one. Sorry.
Okay, he is not going to be very useful until we start
It
going...
reads one standard observation balloon bladder.
Until we start going out of our way to annoy him.
Pardon me. I don't think that belongs to you.
I'd like to claim my balloon.
You have the invoice, of course.
No?
As I thought. No invoice, no balloon. Good day.
Excuse me,
What now?
can you book passage for me on the next boat?
Bad news. No boats, no planes until next week.
Isn't there any way off this island?
Unless you grow wings like Icarus, I'd say you're stuck.
Which is a pretty big hint as to how to go forward. Unfortunately, we do not get to build wings. But the balloon, and the fact that there's a very large man-sized basket,
This is a big basket.
is meant to be a clue as to which way to go.
Excuse me, you can't take that. It belongs to the store, and the store belongs to me.
Yet he doesn't care if I take the fishnet for some reason.
Do you know anything about Atlantis?
You mean about Thera as a colony of the Lost City? Sorry, can't help you.
You are the most aggressively unhelpful NPC I've encountered so far.
What do you want for the basket?
There's an archaeological expedition in the mountains. I'd be grateful for a little souvenir. After all, I am a scholar, and this is my island.
Okay, so we have to find some kind of knick-knack we can trade for the basket, and we have to find the invoice for the balloon so that we can build a balloon to get off this island after we find what we were looking for on this island in the first place. And as on the Fist Path, we do have to sort out if the entrance to the Lost City is in the gap of the mountain.
Nothing here.
Okay, it's not in the gap. It's in the notch.
Nothing here.
It is, in fact, in the cleft.
This looks like a natural gas fissure.
And you may remember this location from the Fist Path, except that this time, the passageway into the Lost City is not collapsed.
It's a plain old empty wooden box.
And here's where we get clever. We close the box.
It's an invoice for an observation balloon bladder.
We pick up the invoice. So now we just have to find some kind of souvenir, and more importantly, some kind of sign of where we can find Atlantis.
It's a military entrenching tool.
And again, we open and close
What's that?
everything.
Uh-oh, something must have caved in. It's a military entrenching tool. Hey, there's a note wedged in here.
Indy, I know you'll find this sooner or later. The Nazis have kidnapped me. They must have found something because it looks like we're leaving soon. Hurry, I need your help.
It's signed Sophia.
You know, credit to Lucas Arts for not going with the obvious, help me, Indiana Jones, you're my only hope. They put it in almost every other game they made. So we close the door as we open the tool and close the box and everything else, and it looks like there's a peg. So, use the sunstone on the peg, and just to make sure that it has not changed things here. Yep, as before, the tall horns must be made red with the setting sun. So now we open that door.
There's an inscription in some ancient language, but I can't read it.
So now we can pick up the sign, close the door, pick up the sunstone. And now, start digging our way out.
Gotta get this door unblocked.
Oh, no you don't. I've had enough.
Please, madame, let's try to be civilized about this, shall we?
Connor, don't shoot her! We may need her in the lost city.
Don't tempt me.
Okay, so thanks to the
Somehow Kerner got the
cutscene,
jump on me, and now he's got Sophia.
heaven knows how Indy knows that, apart from, well, I guess the note kind of implies that Kerner is involved, and doesn't take much to guess that he was responsible for the cave-in. But it is only thanks to that cutscene that we know that Sophia and Kerner and what's his name, Dr. Strangepork. I know that's not his actual name, but Oberman. Took me a moment to remember it. Anyway, make the trek back to Port Authority. Give him the invoice.
Say,
What now?
I'd like to claim my balloon.
You have the invoice, of course.
Of course.
Everything seems in order. The balloon is yours.
Okay, so now we can open the crate, pick up the balloon, and start doing some jiggery-pokery in the
I'll
inventory.
harness the balloon with the fishnet. Now it should be possible to inflate the balloon.
But one more thing.
Say,
What now?
any sign of a German U-boat?
In these waters? Not in my lifetime.
The 2 minutes he had his back turned, apparently.
Would you accept this ancient sign for the basket?
Well, let me see. My, this is a find. A perfectly preserved inscription in Minoan hieroglyphics.
Never heard of them.
Lucky for you, I am completely fluent. Listen. Road closed for repairs. Travelers use alternate route from Greater Colony on Crete.
That's it. The Greater Colony. Kerner's on his way to Crete.
My friend, the basket is yours. Excuse me, I must study.
And that is the last we get from the Port Authority, but thankfully, that is all we need from him. So pick up the big basket.
I'll tie the ends of the fishnet to the back.
Okay, so we now have a potentially inflatable balloon. And how exactly are we going to inflate it? Oh, I think you know.
Nothing here.
That's right, it was the clef, not the notch.
It's a long shot, but here goes. I ought to be featured in Modern Mechanics for this.
All right, so now we are once again in the balloon flying simulation. But unlike last time when we just had to sail to Crete and go far enough north, we do have to hit a moving target this time, making this a little bit more challenging than the team path where we just had to land ourselves on the not moving nomad villages.
What the Hohenzollern is that? Oh! Himmel! Halt!
What do you know? The clothes almost fit.
All right, so now we need to get inside the U-boat. Now here's something that faintly amuses me. This is the Wits path. Supposedly the one with all the big complicated puzzles.
It says Flugeldoofel.
And yet,
I'd better not play with these controls. Who knows what they might do?
yeah, you do not play with the levers, and there is no way to mess around with the intercom in this one. Because this version of Indy is smart enough not to go pulling random levers in a bid to try and get them to do what you want them to. And yeah, there's Sophia apparently working with them this time.
I'll just dump these wet clothes on the floor.
And let's see if we can listen in a little bit.
The closet door is in the way.
Just trying to open the trap door, not the closet door.
A source of power greater than any known to man!
And soon we'll have it in our grasp. Now, Miss Hapgood, it's time to share your knowledge.
Not on your life, jerk.
It's your life we're talking about, Fraulein, so? It's a greater colony.
Blah, 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 blah.
Orichalcum.
So yeah, nothing too useful here, but at least we know Sophia is still giving them hell.
Boy, is this rag greasy.
And we'll leave the captain to dress down those men.
You there.
Sir?
I'm here to relieve you, soldier.
I could use a lunch break. Unfortunately, I can only be relieved by Colonel Kerner himself.
Okay. There is a way to get him to change his tune, thankfully.
I'll bet it's hard as a rock. I'll take a couple of slices.
And no Bierstein this time around.
Don't mind if I do.
And one other person to talk to over here.
You.
Sir?
And what are you working on, Chief?
Some idiot crossed up the wires on the aft torpedo controls. Better stay clear until I get them uncrossed. You could start a fire.
Yes, well, we wouldn't want to do that now, would we? But let's ask another silly question.
Why are there so many army men on this Navy sub?
Orders from Berlin. The scuttlebutt is Obermann and his pugs have friends in high places.
Carry on, sailor.
Aye, sir.
All right, so now that we have a
It's a
literal
sandwich worthy of Dagwood Bumstead.
submarine sandwich,
What do you want?
You look hungry.
Now that looks tempting. I couldn't possibly take yours, though.
Well, why don't you make your own? I'll cover for you.
Would you?
Sure.
Thanks.
so now that he's gone, we can open the lockers and start getting our greasy mitts on everything, which includes the
It's a
moonstone.
stone disc with lunar images carved into it.
And torpedo
It's a
launching
pamphlet
instructions.
entitled Torpedo Launch Instructions.
And having accomplished this, it should cause the submarine.
Sub's changing course.
Bingo!
I can't believe you lost the moonstone! Relax, Herr Doctor. We'll find it. We can't allow petty theft among this scurvy crew to stall our expedition.
Yar!
And if Fraulein Hopwood fails to find an alternative? I'm not worried. She'll come through.
You should live so long.
She can't help herself. She wants to find Atlantis as badly as we do.
I'd better get myself out of here.
Yeah, of course, it will not be as easy as just climbing out.
No naval personnel on deck, sir. Colonel's orders.
Stand aside, soldier. I'm an officer.
I have orders to shoot.
Oh, my mistake.
All right. So we have to find some way off the submarine without using the exit hatch. Unfortunately, there's only one path, and the fact that we have torpedo launching instructions is a pretty big clue toward that end. Unfortunately, with the controls over here broken, there's not much we can do,
Let's put it to good use.
except create a distraction. So use the instructions with the control panel
Okay,
here.
it's ready to fire. Uh-oh.
What's that smell?
What?
That ought to hold them for a while.
Now here's one of the parts where it gets a little crazy with the puzzle, because we can set this up to launch pretty easily. You know, just repeat the steps as before.
Okay, all I have to do is push the lever.
But how are we going to launch it without...
I'll tie the clothesline to the switch.
Yeah, how are we going to launch it without being able to pull the lever? We just use a string.
I'd better change first. That's better.
Yeah, it actually gives you this one for free. You can change clothes on your own before you do this. What I love, though, is that if you do it that way, Indy will not change clothes until you close the door of the head, because he wants privacy. Which means that on some level, Indy is totally aware that he's
I hate
being
getting
watched. Anyway. The good news is, and a bit surprisingly, we do not need to go to the ruins of Knossos over on the left, because we already have a moonstone. And you can in fact go over there, but there's no reason to, and you know, there's nothing to... You can go through the ruins, but you can't really do anything apart from just look at the ruins. So, let's see. Setting sun. I believe it was waning moon. Or waxing moon on the darkness.
Well, that didn't do anything.
No, it was waxing. Or waning. There we go.
What do you know? A secret door.
I don't think we're going to be able to run through the whole labyrinth in this chapter.
So, the legend of a labyrinth hidden under the ruins of Knossos is true. The legend of Atlantis isn't any more far-fetched. Maybe it's true, too. I'll bet the last stone disc and Atlantis are waiting for me somewhere beyond that door.
But we'll give it a shot. Because there is one thing that makes this section a little bit more difficult than the fists and the team path. And that is that we do not get a handy-dandy amberfish orichalcum detector this time around. We do have to find another means of doing it. But the layout is still pretty much the same. We want to head upstairs as quickly as possible. So first things first, we have to go downstairs.
It's an elevator.
And once again, we're going to crush Sternhart's sun and moonstones, but this time...
Wait, that was my ride.
His world stone is here for us.
This is the world stone that Sternhart swiped in Tikal.
And he also has a scarf. But more than the scarf...
It's his note. Let him keep it. Hey, there's a rubber comb in here. It says...
I am convinced the map room is somewhere among the upper chambers. I believe that static electricity will respond to orichalcum, but since I'm trapped down here, I'm not sure whether I have all the pieces for a makeshift detector or not.
Too bad. He came a long way.
And there's nothing beyond the north door but the passageway that we need Sophia to get through.
How nice. Wait, there's a chain running up behind the waterfall. It must be holding the elevator's counterweight.
So once again, use the chain to get out of here.
Ouch. I hate getting wet.
And once again, use the stone heads to get into the next section of the labyrinth. And I'm going to do a quick save here because I discovered a glitch when I was playing through this beforehand to test things. And I did save it to show it off before, but I'm going to see if I can trigger it again, just in case. Because you can actually wind up walking way too quickly at this part. And just walk right over the pathway.
I can't reach it from here.
But if you do that, you can't actually pick that up.
I can't reach it.
And you can't use the chalk.
I can't reach it. I have to get over there first.
And we can't do that. It's even funnier because you can actually walk, well, you have to be doing it pretty quickly, but it can happen easier than you think. But
There, the counterweight is free. I can't reach it.
yep.
There, the counterweight is free.
So we make our way back downstairs. Use the staff as we have before. And that's where I take it all in.
Going up? There are 2 more beads underneath it. I'll take them too. Looks like there's a part missing.
Yeah, it is in fact missing a
Now the
battery.
statue feels warm and tingling, especially around the horns. Whew. Well, either Atlantis is a lot smaller than I thought, or I've found some kind of map or scale model. Laid out just as Plato described it, in 3 concentric circles.
And I think we know the drill by this point. Right, so setting sun on the horns, waxing moon on the darkness, and then I believe it was something about the waxing moon protecting the city from darkness.
That didn't do anything.
And let's see. Let's see. Oh, it's waning, not waxing. Wax on, wax off, I guess. And this time I think it will be the door on the right that opens, because it's the left one in FIS, middle one in Team, and right one in Wits. We'll pick this up. And it's at this point that we need an orichalcum detector.
Okay, I've tied the clothesline to the comb. The comb's charged with static electricity.
Of course,
Why, it's pointing at me.
because we didn't put it in the box. So, use bead in box.
The orichalcum is now in the box.
Close the box.
The comb's charged with static electricity.
Charge the comb and use the string.
It's pointing toward that door on the right.
And yeah, we are actually going to get through
I don't think that'll...
the Wits path here in just over half an hour, I think.
The comb's charged with static electricity. It's pointing at those bones on the floor.
All right. So we pick up the bones.
I don't need any old bones. I can't move it. I don't think that'll work. There are 2 orichalcum beads in these bones. I'll put them in the box too.
All right, so with that done, and those no longer throwing off the detector,
The comb's charged with static electricity. It's pointing toward that blank wall in the back.
and we can use the ship rib or the entrenchment tool for this, I think.
Look! I'll put it in the box too.
Well, actually, there's no point because
She's a beauty.
We're going to need one quickly enough because it turns out we can hitch a
like I
subway to
started this
Atlantis.
Ow.
And this should look very familiar at this point.
Amazing. I must be hundreds of feet below sea level, yet there's enough air pressure to keep the water out. It's impossible. Except if that were really true, I'd be dead.
And so that concludes the Wits path to Atlantis, which means that next time we will go back to how I started this playthrough with team mode, and we will begin exploring Atlantis proper. See you next time.